One of our favorite sponsors is back with us, Sunset Lake CBD.
Yeah.
If you're looking for CBD that actually does what CBD is supposed to do, look no further than our friends over at Sunset Lake.
Let me break it down.
Break it down, Mel.
They're sustainably farmed, meaning they avoid pesticides and use sustainable farming practices to preserve the land for future generations. 1. 2, farm to table. They ship the CBD products straight from their door in Vermont directly to your door wherever you're at.
Now that's cool.
And third party tested. They test everything with a third party to ensure quality, dosage, and safety.
You got to go over and check out sunsetlakecbd.com. They have so many products. Break it down for them, Apple.
Well, they've got some new stuff going on. Like they always had pre-rolls, but now they got really cool packaging for it. And you can get CBD pre-roll flights of all their flavors. You can get the heavy hitter flight that also throws in some of their Keef blunts. They have a new CBD recovery body lotion.
I'm excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
And what was the other?
The other one with arnica.
The extra strength muscle rub, 3,000 milligram with 5% lidocaine.
So look,
Oh, yeah,
if you're
lidocaine.
sore, this is the stuff you want to rub on your body to make those aches and pains go away. They even have CBD infused coffee, so you can have coffee without the little jitter that you get from caffeine, and you have it in the morning and you start your day off right. Your body feels lubricated. You're going to sleep good.
Yeah, and also they have, if you kind of forget to reorder, they've got subscriptions.
And they're giving the No Simple Road family 20% off.
20% off.
Put
with
in the promo code NSR20 when you're checking out at sunsetlakecbd.com. You're going to get 20% off your entire order.
NSR20.
And don't forget those cute little gummy bears.
That's right. sunsetlakecbd.com, one of our favorite sponsors, is back. This episode of No Simple Road is brought to you by
Shop Tour Bus.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yay,
Shop Tour Bus.
Yeah, Shop Tour Bus. We love Shop Tour Bus.
They have decided to go more Jerry and less Bobby.
What does that mean?
That means they have a lot of larger sized shirts and whatnot to accommodate the larger framed listeners and lovers of Shop Tour Bus. You can go over there, shoptourbus.com or at Shop Tour Bus on Instagram. Look at all the awesome designs they have. Deal, Truckin', Drums in Space, Broke Down Palace,
Fire on
Franklin's
the
Tower,
Mountain.
Fire on the Mountain, Steal Your Tape.
Yeah.
More than I can't even think of. And
It's a whole lot.
you are getting free shipping when you put in the promo code
No Simple Road. All one word.
When you're checking out, it's going to come in a hand-designed box with a wonderfully thoughtful and intentional Grateful Dead lyric on the inside of that. Lots of little extras, and some of you are going to get a Grateful Dead
Bootleg.
on the inside of your package. It's a miracle when you get that. You are a person that got miracled with a Grateful Dead bootleg. So go to Shop Tour Bus, get free shipping when you put in the promo code
No Simple Road.
when you check out, and you are going to have new clothes and you're going to feel great. And
It'll
you're
be
gonna
comfy.
Yeah.
So comfy.
It's all about comfort. We are also sponsored by,
Fin and Wheel.
tell them about Fin and Wheel, Mel.
Fin and Wheel is an amazing poster creator. Yeah. That creates these one-of-a-kind line-drawn posters that are inspired by the Pacific Northwest, their love of surfing, the love of the Grateful Dead, and the outdoors.
And listen, Fin and Wheel is located in Canada. When you go to their website and you see the prices on there, those prices are in Canadian dollars. I think that's what they're called up there, dollars, right?
Yeah.
But down in the bottom left-hand corner of the website, there's a little currency converter icon. And if you click on that, you will see magically through the wizardry of, I don't know, the internet.
The true price.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In USD.
And we had been saying it was $60 because we weren't aware of this, but it knocks it down to $49.91. And then you get a discount on top of that if you order one by
Putting in the promo code NSR, you're going to get 10% off. You're going to get one of these prints for like $45, man. And you're going to get free stickers. So go to Fin and Wheel. Check out the awesome designs they have over there. These are definitely frame worthy, definitely centerpiece worthy for like over your mantle or in your bedroom. If you are a lover of the outdoors or the Grateful Dead, these are the prints you want to put up in your house. They are a conversation piece and a wonderful thing.
And these are created on 100-pound cover stock, premium quality FSC certified paper. So this is no joke. This is that heavy stock
Heavy
paper.
duty, man. So go to finandwheel.com, put in the promo code NSR when you check out.
Electric Phish lights.
It's electric.
Is it? And it's
very
Phish.
yeah,
light.
and it's very lighty.
Go to electricfishlights.com and check out the IQ technology that they got going on over there.
Interlocking quadrilaterals.
Big words for saying awesome lights that they create custom designs just for you in shapes that only your mind can conceive of.
I wonder if I could listen to music while turning my light on.
You absolutely could, because they have bulbs with a Bluetooth speaker. I wonder if I could turn on a light and have it change colors.
You absolutely can, because the upgrade of the color changing bulb is also an option.
Wow, I wonder if I could get 20% off an electric Phish light.
I bet you could.
How
you could
could I,
totally
Apple?
get that by putting in the promo code
NSR.
NSR.
You are going to get 20% off your electric Phish light. Go over there, tell them what you want them to build. Say, I want a Phish light that has a color changing bulb and a Bluetooth speaker, or I want a Starfish light, or
I want Saturn.
I want one shaped like a hammer.
I want my favorite sports team on a light.
That's
they do all
right.
the sports teams, and there's a lot of them out there.
Go to electricfishlights.com, put in the promo code NSR. You're going to get your 25% off and light yourself up. It's good to be lit up.
Hey everyone, Chris Pandolfi from the infamous String Dusters here to let you know that my podcast, Inside the Musician's Brain, is back on the airwaves for Season 4, which means it's time once again to get deep with influential musicians from all across the musical landscape to really understand and translate the lessons of success, failure, inspiration, and hard work that are behind the music and the artists that we love. My guests this season include Rachel Price from Lake Street Dives, Sam Bush, Chris Wood, Chris Funk from The Decemberists, Lindsay Liu, MC Taylor from His Golden Messenger, and more. Check us out, and thanks for listening.
We're so excited to tell you a bit about today's sponsor, Music Masters Collective. They are a nonprofit organization that produces unique music events, providing opportunities for fans and artists to meet and collaborate in an inspired and creative atmosphere.
Music Masters Collective events give you the opportunity to learn from world-class musicians like Otil Burbridge, Steve Earle, Richard Thompson, former members of the band, the Milk Carton Kids, Nikki Glaspie, the Fab Four, and Sean Colvin, and so many more.
At an event like the Milk Carton Kids Sad Song Summer Camp happening this July, you can expect immersive classes, evenings of entertainment, excellent food, and a space for a lucky group of folks to learn, co-write, workshop, and perform with like-minded peers, all with the guidance of Kenneth Pattengale, Joey Ryan, and some of their favorite songwriters. This all-inclusive week in the Catskill Mountains of upstate New York is guaranteed to be magical. Scholarships are available and spots are extremely limited, so visit www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple to learn more. That's www.sadsongssummercamp.com/simple. Check it out. And liftoff. You made it. You made it through the commercials, and I hope that you enjoyed them. You know, we put a lot of effort into that.
Ba-ba boom.
Well, dude, baba boom.
Ba-ba booey.
What-
Ta-ta toothy.
Wow. Hey, now, No Simple Road family, we're back. This isn't Howard Stern. It's Aaron and Giggles McGee.
Giggles McGee over there. And
It's me. I'm in a good mood.
Got the-
Sorry.
what is it?
I'll straighten up and fly
she's
right.
got the casita,
This is Mel.
The casitas.
It's Mel.
Is that right? The casitas?
The casitas.
I
You
like
gotta do it. You
I
gotta
like
do
the
it with
casitas because that's like a lot of little houses.
You
Oh, it
gotta-
is. A casita is a little. Oh, and this is Apple.
You got to do
Yeah.
it with a little bit of like a Hebrew thing, like chesita.
Casita.
There you go.
She's got the casitas.
There you go. That was actually really, really good. Everybody, just so you know, the chesitas are when you have the giggles. And Mel has the chesitas
This
right
is
now.
my favorite intro ever.
Well, it should be, because this is, I think,
this is part of my good mood.
the triumvirate of the three of us. I think this is one of our favorite interviews we've ever done.
This is my favorite 2022 interview.
Yeah.
Like,
What? Use your words.
I'm dumbfounded by Jennifer. I was just looking at pictures of her because we're getting ready for the intro, and I pulled up my my notepad that I write all my notes during our interviews and conversations. And I was looking at pictures of her, and she is so powerful
Exudes
on stage
power, yeah.
and so fun. It's not just the power, it's like fun. And she's like that when we talked to her too. She was so fun and laughing and genuine and
A lot and emotional. And there's a lot of
Exactly.
emotions of all kinds here.
doing all
And
the things.
I'd like to say, Jennifer, we'd like you to be our spirit animal, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Yes.
like that's what I represent, Jennifer Hartswick.
Yeah. Yeah.
What
I-
sign are you, Jen Hartswick?
Yep. I get to be Jen Hartswick. Oh man, you were her last time.
Trey. No.
No, she made me happy just now. Like she contributed to the elevation of my mood.
Well,
Yeah.
anybody that can elevate our mood, I'm down to have them on our show.
Yeah.
And Apple, why don't you bring us into this with a little bit of style and grace? We're trying
Okay.
something new here.
And I don't see anything better way to do this than this is from Jennifer Hartswick's site. And trumpeter and vocalist Jennifer Hartswick is one of the most exciting performers in music today. She exudes confidence and joy and brings her own refreshing spirit to the stage every time she performs. Jennifer's music is honest, soulful, and comes with a maturity far beyond her years. Hartswick is an original member of the Trey Anastasio Band and has shared the stage with Herbie Hancock, Phish, Christian McBride, Tom Petty, Aaron Neville, Carlos Santana, the Rolling Stones, Big Gigantic, Dave Matthews, and countless others. Jennifer's live performances are renowned as spontaneous, joyful, and contagious. Her natural charisma and sincerity shines through, and each performance is a celebration of musical collaboration. And whether she is wailing on the trumpet or singing an intimate vocal solo, her performance is all part of a single seamless instrument, one that is played not only with astounding technical proficiency, but also with sensitivity, conviction, and heart.
Wow.
That I couldn't be said better.
No.
Whoever did that.
You know what? Something just popped into my head, and there it went. No. We talk a little bit about Reiki and distance Reiki in this.
Yeah.
And Jennifer, if you listen back to this, our dog
Oh,
hurt his
Darwin.
leg, and he's actually, like, what you hear in the background, if you can hear that, is him limping around the room and his nails on the wood floor. And if you felt like it, the next time you're doing some Reiki, sending him a little love. His name is Darwin. And
you
he-
would love Darwin.
and he is a 120 plus pound, what is he?
Burmese.
Bernese Mastiff, or Bernese
No,
Mountain Dog, and German Shepherd. And he could use a little
And
little
human.
energy. And human, yeah.
Yes,
dog
and
talk.
human. And a little cat thrown in there.
Yep. But I digress.
Yeah.
This
Anyway,
Could do
this with a site bio like that, and a career like that, to be
Mhm.
able to say those things. This is a powerhouse of modern music, and somebody that not only is accomplished in the mechanics and just the rudiments of playing, but also is sending energy and vibrations on another level out to everybody through her horn. And it's just a huge honor to have her on No Simple Road. And I just want to say thanks, Jen, for hanging out with us. And I can't wait until the day that the three of us can meet and share a smile in person instead of over Zoom and a hug.
Yeah.
Absolutely. This was such a comfortable, fun conversation that you're going to hear from beginning to end. It was like right out the gate, like just so comfortable, fun, funny, emotional.
Yeah. So let's do the business and get them in there, and remember to hang out afterwards to catch up with the three of us. We are gonna, do what No Simple Road does. You know what that is. Unless this is your first time, and if it is, hey, welcome to the show.
Welcome to the
Glad
show.
you're part of the family, and thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us and listening to us do what we do and what we love the most. So we appreciate that. But I'm going to do the business that we're going to get you to the interview, and then after the interview, you're going to hang out with us. It's going to be a whole thing. We're going to have a day together. Are you excited?
I'm excited.
All right. Follow us on all the social media platforms at No Simple Road. You can go to www.nosimpleroad.com. I bet you didn't see that coming. At nosimpleroad.com is the place that you can find out all the stuff that has to do with the show, like where we're going to be. We have a calendar of events up there. Right now, at this very moment, the three of us are most likely on an airplane on the way to Los Angeles to drive up to Ventura to go to Skull and Roses Festival. So No Simple Road will be podcasting for the next 4 days from Skull and Roses Festival in Ventura, California.
Woo!
You can still get tickets. There are single-day tickets available. You can come see Melvin Seals and JGB, Phil Lesh, Terrapin Family Band, O'Teal and Friends, Keller Williams and Grateful Grass, Jackie Green, Circles Around the Sun, The Higgs, No Simple Road. Yeah, we're on that list. So yeah, come hang out with us over at Skull and Roses if you have the opportunity, if you're out in California.
I got to throw it in one more time because this is the last time you're going to hear from me. It is on the beach. It is on the beach in Ventura. There's a beach involved.
I think they know it's on the beach.
Is it on the beach?
And it is, oh my gosh, it is so beautiful.
You'll get to see Apple's legs and shorts too.
Well, and also I would like for us to acknowledge again, because it has to do with Skull and Roses, Jenny, congratulations on all of your beautiful, beautiful works of art. And I am glad that you are being honored and that it's going to be your birthday celebration.
Happy birthday, sister.
Happy birthday.
Happy
Jen.
birthday. And congratulations, woman, on all the inspiring, truly beautiful pieces of art that you create and every satisfied and happy customer that you encounter.
At Skull and Roses, there is the Dusty Strings exhibit, and there's going to be a bunch of really amazing, energetically powerful instruments there on display, as well as the straps that Jenny has created for those with her amazing beadwork. So if you get the chance, come over, say hi to Jenny, hang out with us at Skull and Roses. Also at nosimpleroad.com, you can go to the top and click on tarot. It says tarot at the top.
That's right, it does.
Part of in the menu there. And you can schedule a tarot reading with Mel and I, a 1-hour tarot reading with the Grateful Dead tarot deck. Each song in the deck each card in the deck represents a song by the Grateful Dead. So after your reading, you'll get a customized playlist based on what cards you pulled and a synopsis of your reading and an audio file so you can go back and listen to it later in case you forgot what we talked about. And you get to hang out with us. It'll be fun. Go there. Do that. Go to patreon.com/No Simple Road. Yeah.
Patreon.com/No Simple Road. Why would we do that?
Because everything in the world happens to cost money and prices are going up. Gas is, I paid $6 the other day.
How about that? Forget about that spiel. How about this? Support what you love. Period.
Put your money where your love is,
all
baby.
of our money is going out to somewhere and something. And I just saw the coolest thing on Instagram. I was like crying of tears of happiness and sadness. Like there's this guy and he walks up to random people. They could be like homeless, or he was like in a thrift store, or he's at a restaurant or wherever. So it's all these different people. Anyway, he blesses these people that he'll be like, hey, can I borrow $1 for, whatever. And, they'll pull out change. And then he's like, actually, I want to give you your $1 back. And here is $500 or here's $1,000. And it just like, made me so happy, just the humanity and what he's doing and blessing other people. It's to watch that is, it just
I know what you're
felt so
talking
good.
about. I've seen clips of that, and then just the look on people's face to get like instant, like instant payback, or not even payback, but instant gratification,
karma, right?
Like oh my God,
karma.
Somebody treated me well for being a good person
Now.
So you can do that with No Simple Road.
Yes, that's my point.
If you're a listener of the show and you listen every week, you can, if you love this thing, you can give $1 every month, or 10 or 50 or whatever. And that helps us continue to do what we're doing and put love out into the world and, connect this community with each other and
grow,
be here with you,
do
and
more
spend time with
things.
you and all of it. You guys understand how energy works and how reciprocity works.
Yeah, but sometimes you just need to see it from another perspective too, because it can inspire you differently. Like some people want to bless on a monthly basis. Some people are like, I just want to do something, get out of the way. But some people, they're just not even thinking about it. And so talking about it, it's like, yeah, that's true. You're right. I do want to bless the things that I like.
Right.
I want it to keep going.
So if you want to do that, patreon.com/No Simple Road. That is our Patreon page. There's all kinds of benefits up there. We are going to continue doing the album reviews when we get back from Skull and Roses. There's all kinds of extras up there, and you'll see what they are when you go over. So go check it out. Also, if you want to do something that doesn't cost anything, you can go on Apple Podcasts and leave a review for us. That helps other people find out about the show. It doesn't cost anything, and it's quick, it's easy, and you get that warm and fuzzy feeling on the inside. And I want all of you to feel warm and fuzzy all the time.
It makes us feel warm and fuzzy.
Mm-hmm.
It's so fun when one of those pops up.
And also, you can call 971-808-1524. That is the No Simple Road Tepid line. You can call in and basically do whatever you want. I don't know.
Yeah.
You could just rap. You could
We
do a
always
freestyle.
ask for trip report, we always ask for that because we love giving them. That's part of what we do. And you can call in. Everybody's going out and seeing shows now. They're back. Give us a trip report. Give us a clip of the show you were at.
Or if you've always wondered something about No Simple Road, or you've wanted to ask us a question and you're curious what our answer would be, you can call the Tepid line and say, hey, I want to know, does Apple like pepperoni or whatever? And we will give you the answer.
Q&A there.
Yeah. So that is how you can interact with us and the No Simple Road family, 971-808-1524. So, I'm not going to go through the rest of it. That's it. We are going to get you to the interview. Remember to hang out with us afterwards.
Yeah, I'm going to plug one last thing before we go. We did our business. Make sure to go over and follow Jennifer on Instagram at jhartswick, or on her site, jenniferhartswick.com, to find out tours coming up, tabs hitting the road again. There's things going on with her all the time, and that's where you can find that out. Give her some love.
Yep. So without further ado, the No Simple Road crew gives you
Jennifer Hartswick.
Do I move you? Is it thrilling? Do I groove you? Are you willing? Do I show you? Tell the truth now. Do I move you? Are you loose now? The answer better be yeah. That pleases me. Are you ready?
Always.
For this action? Does it give you satisfaction?
Let's go.
Are you here to what I'm saying? Oh, now, if you are, then let's our swaying. The answer better be yeah. That pleases me.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer.
Hi.
Yay.
What's up?
Welcome to the show, Jennifer. Woo!
Thanks.
I'm
Thanks for
Aaron.
having me. Hi,
Yeah.
Aaron. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too.
My name's Mel, and we have one more.
And then I'm Apple. Thank you for giving us some of your time on this
Oh, man,
beautiful
it's my
Saturday.
pleasure.
It
It looks fun where you are. You have fun
It's fun,
art.
and if you were here, we'd be having so much more fun.
She is virtually.
Well, I meant, like here in our space.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah, we like to have a good time.
Jennifer,
Yeah.
you are our final interview in this room.
Yeah,
wow.
we're changing
Then
locations.
what happens?
We are moving the studio to a bigger space today. It's exciting.
Right. Today.
Yes.
Wow,
Yes.
this is so cool.
Yeah.
I
It's
know.
not as hard as
I'll
just
try to make it not
downstairs.
suck.
I don't,
Doesn't
well,
matter.
I mean, you do want to suck a little bit because what you do, right?
I blow usually.
Yeah. Jennifer, thank you, like Mel said, for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
for
you
sure,
have
my
given
pleasure.
us
Countless.
countless hours of happiness and joy.
Oh,
and entertainment and
Thank
good
you.
feelings.
Oh, that makes me happy. Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the cool things we were just watching was with Keb Mo, and he's going to be here on the 30th. And
Oh, cool.
watching that was just, you know, there's some stuff that you love to dance to. Then there's some stuff you like to groove to. This was just such a good vibe and like relaxing and upbeat, but chill and cool. And like, that's one of the things I love about how you sing, and your vibe is just that the type of energy that you put out there. So that's one thing I wanted to just say thanks. And your vibes are so good, and what you bring to whatever environment you're in is just A+, man, for real.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
It even captured their 19-year-old son who was out on the patio. And he doesn't get into a lot of the stuff we're into, and he was out there digging on it.
You can go multi-generational.
Yes.
That's the ultimate compliment.
Well,
Whether it's a parent or a kid. Like, my parents, that's what was happening with the Beacon Jams, was that whole families were getting to watch these shows together, where it's you know, the people who are maybe in their 40s going out, leaving their kids at home, but now they're home with their kids, and even their parents are coming over for dinner. It's like they're all potted up, and they're getting to experience it together for the first time. We just kept hearing that time and time again, and thinking, what a cool side effect to all this.
Yeah.
So I think when you can capture multiple generations, it's special.
Yes.
well, let's start there with the Beacon Jam.
Sure.
First of all, just the name of it was extremely poignant, and it really hit a really emotional spot and space and time.
Yeah.
And it was so badly needed. And doing the live stream thing, like it took me a minute, honestly, at the beginning of quarantine and all that, to be able to like kind of sync up with that thing. It just seemed so artificial and hard to connect with the vibe of the music and the musicians. And I'm so used to the live experience where you could feel everything and blah, blah, blah. It was hard to connect with that stuff at first. And took me a little while, like I said, but the Beacon Jams were completely different. It came through like a laser beam, and it really hit home. And I'm just curious, Jen, from your perspective and point of view, how that felt, and if you kind of had the same experience with performing in that vein as well.
Yeah, I mean, we were feeling just like everybody else was feeling. It's interesting because, you know, this is what we do with our entire life. We don't have other jobs. So this is like we were forced to stay home and not do our job. And that in and of itself was pretty scary. Mm-hmm. And then for the people who need music to live, to dance to feel, to have their friends along, their family along, you know, I think there is sometimes there can be a slight disconnect between musician and audience in terms of like, sometimes we know people who live to go see live music, but also we think like, how can that be? These people have like lives and jobs, that, you know, and then it was so abundantly clear that we were all feeling the same thing at that time. And so for us to be, that was in October. Mm-hmm. So we all got sent home from life in March, and then all of those months feeling all the emotions of how we're all feeling. And then to have somebody like Trey say, you know, this is unacceptable, and there has to be something that we can do about it. And everyone was trying to do something about it, but not everybody can have the Beacon donated to you for
yes.
You know, it's like, well, I can put my PayPal up and you can see my couch, but right. You know, and so to be able to use those resources and have those connections and use it for greater good isn't even like on the same scope. It was so important for everybody. And for us to be able to see each other, play music together, it was something that we had taken for granted our entire lives. And now all of a sudden we were given this opportunity, this gift, where we would do anything. We had to follow really strict rules and, you know, not see anybody. And that was at a time where you had to quarantine for 14 days before you could even set foot outside of anywhere. So I was in New York City for 6 weeks. And I was at the Hotel Beacon above the Beacon Theater for 14 days without seeing anybody, knowing that my friends were downstairs because I came in week 4 or whatever. So all my friends are downstairs and I couldn't even go, like not even with a negative test. This was pre-vaccine. This is, you know, this is like no one was allowed to go to work yet. And somehow we were being gifted this opportunity. So that whole energy of just being so excited to see everybody. And then the funniest part is the fact that they flipped the stage around, right? So that everyone else could see the beacon, beautiful Beacon Theater behind us. We're staring at the back of the wall. All we can see is the crew who we love, you know, and all we can see is like the Twitch comments go, you know, like after the song, like now there's all these Twitch comments. We turn on the monitors, but essentially what everybody got to view was just us at rehearsal. Because that's what I felt like. There is no clapping. There's no audience. There's no, as far as what it feels like all the homies are together and we're so happy. And you get done with this big thing that you're so excited to, oh God, we haven't played this in so long and it feels so good. And this is amazing. And then it's dead silence. And you're staring at like a curtain. Anyway, but it was such a different experience for so many reasons, but it was so necessary for musician and music lover alike. I think it connected us in a much deeper way than we've ever been connected before. And I'll speak for myself. I know I feel that way. That I've had more conversations about what that meant to people than just about any other topic. And I think, you know, you're able to reach more people, and it was shot so beautifully and it sounded so beautiful. It wasn't like, you know, somebody's iPhone. Like there was a lot of time and money and effort that went into making sure that it was something really special and beautiful and as perfect as it could be in those circumstances. So it's a pleasure to be a part of an organization who cares so much. It's really, really rare. And they just continue to top themselves over and over again.
You know what? Thanks for shedding light on what it was like on your behalf. Because again, we're just seeing the end product. We don't know any of that stuff. We're not even thinking about you being in New York for 6 weeks and quarantining and not. That's freaking. It's sad, but then you go on and do something like that, you know, because it can be the most, you know, I don't want to say scary and lonely time prior to you doing the most amazing performance. Right. What a duality, you know, that is. Yeah,
and we managed to get through all 8 weeks without one person getting sick.
Right,
no crew,
on.
No string section, no band members, nothing. And so, you know, it was a real feat. But it was such a blessing to be able to do it that everybody took it incredibly seriously. It's like, what do I have to do to be here? I'll do it.
That's and that's what came through, and also, I mean, for those of us that live music is our life, like you said, there's a lot of us that have built our entire lives around the live music thing. Yeah. And having it gone, I mean, not to put too fine a point on it, was fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
It was really scary, man. Yeah. And we had to really figure out how we wanted to maneuver in this new space. And I remember thinking during that, like, I don't know if this can come back if this continues. And really being concerned for the artists that I love, like you and Trey and like all of you guys, like, what do they do? You know, how do we move forward? And then for that to come and happen, it was awesome. But on top of it, the music that came out of it was so monumental that those particular songs that you guys played, some of the best versions of that stuff ever. Yeah.
And well, you can feel what was happening. Wasn't just like any other show where, that was the best version of whatever that I've ever heard. There was so much at stake and so much emotion, and everybody was so aware of, you know, also the things that were happening behind the scenes, you know, with the string section and those arrangements. I mean, there are people all over the country who were arranging those things on the spot, and Trey's very spontaneous and would wake up sometimes the morning of the show and be like, man, I wish we had a full orchestral version of X. And then call Don Hart and be like, I need it by soundcheck at 2:30. There are people that you just don't even see that are just working their nuts off to try and accommodate. And so, well, it's like, well, it won't be there for the beginning of soundcheck, but it'll be there by the end, you know, and they're faxing stuff over, and then there's that, and then there's all these vocal arrangements that Carmel Dean was responsible for, and just there's so many moving parts, and all of the people involved in that have been involved in Trey's life for quite some time. So none of the franticness comes as a surprise to anyone.
Okay.
We all understand how he works, and this is very much like, you know.
Right.
But when he has a great idea, he's like, what do we have to do to make it happen? And it's never like in a couple of weeks. It's always like yesterday now. Like, what do we have to do? And there's so many people scrambling and creating and dropping everything else that they're doing to make sure that this can be the very best that it can be. And the result was just complete and utter professionals doing exactly what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then also with the tinge of all the things happening in the world and how grateful we are to be there.
And not to get too heady about it, but for those of us that, like I said, this is our lifeline, we were adrift in this like weird sea. And one of the things that like I kept saying after Beacon and like what you guys did there and Lonely Trip and all that stuff, like you guys really energetically put a lifeboat out for us and connected us back to something that's, I'm getting teary.
No, I am too. Stop
Connected
it.
us back to something that we needed so fucking bad and thought was lost. And like, I kept saying, how can you have that much class? Like I've never in my life, I've been around this scene a long time. Like that's just like with such professionalism and class and style and like grace and without getting political and in a time when it was almost impossible to not do that.
Right.
And like, it gave me the fuel to continue going the rest of the way. Like that was the water break in the marathon where like I splashed the water on my hand. Like, oh, fuck it, I can keep going. All right.
Yeah.
And to be a part of something like that, Jennifer, is just like, I can't articulate the gratitude enough. And I am so glad that you got the opportunity to do that because
it was definitely during a dark hour, you know, on the background for us, because Aaron's really great at like organizing and putting things together, but he's also really, you know, his mood can deplete easily and then bring everything down. And it was during one of those darker times that the Beacon Jams came out, and it was literal sunshine.
Yeah.
It was literal sunshine coming out into the, like, permeating the cave that you're like, how the hell does sunshine get into a cave? But it did, you know? And one thing I wanted to ask, you know, how is it working with someone like Trey in the sense of like, it sounds and it seems to me like what you were just describing, like everything's elevated. You have to play your best. You have to act your best. Like everything shoots up. Like, is that something that you have is a wellspring within you as well? Like you're always just kind of trying to modify and get higher, or is that something that's brought up, or maybe both? Like, I just wonder what it's like working with that kind of energy for yourself.
Yeah. I mean, he jokes that he's a professional cheerleader for a living. That's how he looks at it.
Right.
When you have so many people involved in your organization, and everyone, it doesn't, COVID notwithstanding, everybody's going through whatever they're going through.
Sure.
And he looks at it as an opportunity to just say yes and like yes, up, yes, and what else? Like what else? And that's how he plays music, and that's how he speaks on the phone, and that's it's exhausting. It's at times
Sure.
when he crashes because he earned that crash real hard. But it's impossible to be around that energy and not want to be the same way.
Like
for
match
him.
it.
So
Yeah.
it's instead of like clinging on to it and bringing it down, you want to support that and uplift that, and you want to support and uplift all your mates, all your bandmates, all your
Sure.
crew, everybody. And so it really does come from the top down. Whatever the big wig is doing is like it sets the tone for everybody else.
Mm.
And so for everybody involved, it's a joyous place to work. We work really hard. We love what we do. There's a lot that's expected of us.
Mhm.
And there's like a real sense of pride when we get to deliver that.
Mm.
And so I think he's surrounded himself with people who are so lovely and so positive, and not only understand everything on a musical level, but just a human level. I mean, these are all people that we would all take a bullet for each other. I mean, this is
Aw.
a band of absolute family, and we love each other like on a stupid level, and we just
That's
want to
awesome.
want to
Hell
just all
yeah.
be there for each other. You know, like if somebody's having a rough day, or if somebody fucks up, or whatever. You know, it's like it's just not a negative place to be.
Wow.
And in such a world of, like you said, you know, the divide and politics and all that kind of stuff, wars and all the things that are going on, it's like our little way of being able to uplift each other and whoever else needs it.
This may be I don't know if this is a silly question or not, but in regards to like the way things are right now, like the political divide and
The temperature of the world.
and
Mhm.
the war that's going on, and like we don't really usually talk about politics on this show.
We don't.
We don't.
We keep
But
it out.
I have a question about it, and
Mhm.
I was thinking, this is something I was thinking about the other day. As all of this started overseas, there's like this like looming specter cloud over there, and you could feel it like
Yep.
in your soul. You could feel it going down, and I was like, is it okay to be like going to shows right now? Like I honestly questioned that for myself, like, should we be celebrating at a time like this? But for myself, I came to the conclusion that absolutely, because that energy goes out into the world, and that keeps,
Yeah.
balance out there in the force or whatever. But I'm curious how you see that.
Yeah, I mean, I there's nothing more important than feeling love and showing love,
Mm.
especially in such a time that, only love can conquer hate. Hello.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just, that loving energy is so much more powerful than its antithesis, and it's so necessary. We've all been through so much already. We already needed it already before this started going down.
Yes.
I worry I have friends that are on tour in Europe. They just started a European tour 2 days ago,
Ugh.
and it's a month-long tour. And I just
Oh.
started having stuff get canceled in Europe. That was coming up in early May. And so, I worry for their safety.
Of
But
course.
Yeah.
I've already spoken with them, and they said that the energy of the crowd is exactly what we're talking about. Like, it's so necessary. They need
Oh.
it so badly, and they're so grateful that they can go see music right now, regardless of what happens. I mean,
Yes.
if something catastrophic happens and you were listening to music, great. Like,
Yes.
meh.
I think
But-
that all the time,
Yeah.
Jennifer. I say that all the
Yeah.
time. If I'm jumping out of a plane skydiving and I die to my death, don't cry, be happy. I was doing
Yeah.
something happy and fun. Like,
Yeah.
same thing
Yeah.
with music. Like,
Yeah.
that's how I feel about it. I love what you said. There's nothing more important right now than feeling and showing love, because that
Yeah.
is really what we need. We can't
Yep.
take away the war. We can't
Yeah.
bring back the years of the pandemic. We can't change our neighbor's mind, but we can show love and we can give love, and we can do
Yeah.
it wherever we're at. It doesn't matter.
Yep. And I'm a firm believer that when you're in a group of people, like when you're in a crowd, when you're in an audience, whether it's a jazz club or Madison Square Garden or whatever, and you're all feeling that collectively together, that's not one guy and one guy and one guy and one guy. That is like an exponential love experience that is like so incredibly powerful on an energetic realm. You know what I mean? It's not, you're not having separate loving experiences at that point. Like you're with 18,000 people who are all just like, it's beautiful. It's necessary. We have to do that. Like, and whatever that thing is to you too, you know, if that for somebody listening is like, I don't really go, you know, not that someone will be listening and doesn't like music. But you know, whatever makes them feel like that, whether it's fly fishing with their buddies or like, I don't, you know, it's whatever brings you that, like that intense joy. It's so important. And, you know, we also live in a world where we're only supposed to work and like not do that kind of stuff. Luckily, my job, I go to work and I have the experience that we're talking about. And that is not, I don't for one day take that for granted.
Can you get into that, Jennifer? Like how your origins of like how you started singing and playing, and then maybe even eventually like how you got into tap for everybody out there who doesn't know that?
Sure. I grew up in a super small town in Vermont, 400 people.
Wow.
That's small.
More cows than people, one of those kind of towns. And I grew up in a big old musical family. Everyone in my family, all my aunts, grandparents, everybody, uncles, they were all brass players.
Whoa.
And so I grew up, my grandma was a trumpet player. You know, everyone except my mom, my poor mom, was the only person who played clarinet. Everybody else, like, she was like, here's a flute, here's a clarinet, and here's a saxophone. I was like, no. And so, you know, our whole sort of upbringing was around music, classical music, brass quintets. Like Christmas was us getting around, you know, pulling out brass quintet music and in the afternoon, sight reading through these things, whatever. Like, and I realized like now how special that is. At the time, you know, you're
that's
like
very
13,
special.
Like, Grandma. But looking back on it, it was so special. And so there was never a moment in my life where I ever thought I would do something else other than play music.
Wow. Okay.
And they all ended up being teachers. No one's really a performer. My aunt kind of some, you know, halvesy performer and teacher. And I also play a much different kind of music than they play. But I grew up in that setting where it was expected that you practiced, you know, every day. And my grandma used to come over twice a week and give me piano lessons. And my mom taught music after school. You know, it was just it was around. So, I love jazz music. I love classical music. I probably never turned on pop radio until I was like 16. So there's like a huge piece that I had to learn later, you know, when
that's
like
awesome.
My friends were like, why don't you know this Nirvana song? I'm like, well, because that's not, you know. We didn't have MTV. We didn't have cable. We didn't have, you know, like we lived in the woods, man. I lived on 300 acres of beautiful kind of farmland. Wow. It was our house and my grandparents' house, and that's it. Wow. And so
that's beautiful, Jennifer.
It is. You had to get creative though, because winter's like 8 fucking months long. You have to get creative. It's really cold. There's 9 feet of snow outside, and so what do? Like, you practice or go outside and in the tundra, and so that's kind of, you know, how I grew up. And then I was 17 when I met Trey, and he was recording like one of his first little solo records that he was making in his basement, One Man's Trash. And he needed a trumpet player, and he called his buddy Dave Grippo and said, hey, do you know a trumpet player? I need a trumpet player for this weird avant-garde piece. And there was this aha moment that we hadn't met yet. And so I showed up. It was right before, it's like halfway through my senior year or something of high school. Mm-hmm. And I got a message on my parents' machine, like an actual machine. Yes. little tape. And it was 1998 or 7. And anyway, it was Trey Anastasio from Phish, you know, and I wasn't a Phish fan because that wasn't the kind of music that I was into. I was obviously aware of them. That's like Vermont is Vermont.
Right.
So, but he left this like hilarious, really telling, apologetic message on my machine that was like, hi, this is Trey from the band Phish. I got your number from Dave Grippo. It was like, there was such an energy of like, I'm so sorry to bother you, you know?
Aww.
And so anyway,
I love it.
he sent over the piece of music. God, I wish I still had it. It was like just chicken scratch. And I showed up at the studio, and it was, you know, he tells the story on stage sometimes, but he's basically like, you're the only person who showed up knowing the music. Everybody else just kind of was like, oh. And he's like, you just kept banging it out time after time after time, like perfectly, while you waited for these 40-year-old men to get their shit together.
Oh, wow.
And so
that's saying
that was
something.
the first time that we had ever met or hung out together or whatever. And then he called me again when they were recording Farmhouse, and then he formed the band. And I was in college at the time, having a rough go of it. It was not the right place for me at that time. And I had called my parents, and I was like, this isn't for me. I got to figure out somewhere else, something else to do, but this place is not for me. And so I had packed up all my stuff. And I was 10 minutes out of the driveway of my college, and Trey called, and I hadn't talked to him in probably 2 years.
Okay.
He was like, hey, what are you doing? I said, I just quit school 10 minutes ago. He's like, you want to be in my band?
Whoa.
Yes.
What
said,
timing?
Yeah, sure. He's like, how soon can you be at my house? I was like, I'm like 4.5 hours away. He's like, cool, we'll still be here. So I just went straight with all my stuff to his house.
Shit.
That had to be
and
awesome.
like walked in on them writing "Push On Till the Day" and like, you know, like all like Mozambique and like this is and then there was a band.
That's amazing. So you only had like 10 minutes of like, what the hell am I going to do with my life now?
Yeah.
And then boom, the universe answers.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you a believer in that? Like, are you woo and all that? Cause
I'm woo. I'm
yes,
at the top of the
yes,
woo pile.
yes. I love
You're in
that.
good company.
I'm sending you Reiki right now. You don't even know it.
Yes.
And I accept it.
I'm sitting here holding my serpentine, so
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, because, you know, especially with music, it's a language that everybody understands whether you play it or not. Mm-hmm. And I think that that's not spoken about enough. Like, we're all listening to a language that whether you're playing it or not, you speak it because you can hear it and you can feel it.
Yeah.
And having that kind of energetic connection, how can you not be woo? There's so many, like, of course I understand technical and, you know, reading and the mathematics and all of that stuff about music. But like in the end, when you're playing it and someone's hearing it, that is all energy. And you're either feeling that energy and digging on it or not, but you're still a part of it somehow. Right. And that's just when somebody knows that other other part of it, that energetic kind of woo, kind of like, yeah, this is coming from me, but not at the same time. Like it just, I feel like it elevates that energetic connection. It really does.
Yeah. Yep. I couldn't agree more. I feel the exact same way. And like, you know, there was a point in my life where, and I should bring it back, but where I made a really conscious, several conscious thoughts before I walk out on stage every night. And one of them was, I mean, Reiki has been a part of my life since I was about 24, probably.
How'd you get into that? Because I'm a Reiki practitioner myself.
Are you? I love it. You want to talk about woo?
Yeah, I do, actually.
There is an incredible woman in April Frost who lives in Danville, Vermont, who is, among many other things, a Reiki master and an animal communicator. And so through a dog, we met her through a dog.
Okay.
And she's a spectacular woman. She had like a holistic dog kennel as like a side hustle. She had 25 of her own dogs who were all like, you would never even know that they were there. You know, she'd open the door and they would all just come politely sit, and she'd call them one by one and they would go out, and you know what I mean? It's like the most peaceful place on the planet. And the more I started to hang out with her, the more I started to realize all the things that she offered. And that was one of them. A Reiki workshop was one of them. And I was like, I don't know what this is, but I like you. And let's see what this is all about. And I was the only person in my family at that time who was interested in anything like that. And I went and I did it, and I felt like all of my cells shift. And I thought, wow, this is something. And I went home. I think I was like living at home for a period, because I remember going home to the dinner table and my mom being like, "How was it?" And I was like, I couldn't speak. I was like, I don't know how to answer that question.
Yeah.
I gotta she's like, okay, I get that. She understood that. And then, so I went back for like a level 2 situation, and then my mom started going, and then my father went, and then my grandfather went, and then my brother went. And so it's like this whole thing where like everybody's having this really beautiful awakening in like the early 2000s. And it was all because, our dog was misbehaving and really needed some help.
Wow.
So
thank you, April.
Yeah, thanks, April. She's amazing. She's an amazing woman who like gifted us with it. It was her birthday. We threw her a birthday party, her 60th birthday, and she gifted us with like a channeling session. She's channeled this one entity for decades, and she's just she was a game changer in my life.
Wow.
Really opened up a lot of doors for me. And so I remember this one show where I would always sort of like ask that before I went out on stage, that anybody who's willing to receive the Reiki energy, like that it would come through my trumpet, and highest and greatest good for anybody who's open to it. And I remember I have chills. I remember being
me too.
In Portland, Oregon.
That's where we are.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
good. I love this. And I see it in a purple light.
Okay.
Lots of people do, but it shows up as like an indigo light for me. And so I looked out, and out of this one person, who I couldn't see who it was, there was like this beautiful arc of purple, and then also another beautiful arc of purple coming out of the same person.
Whoa.
And then as I and I'm playing a show. This is not like, like a healing session. This is like, I'm trying to not screw up.
I'm in the groove here.
And then, yeah. And then I realized, I know who that person is. Oh, I'm friends with her. Oh, I bet she's pregnant.
Oh, shit.
And so I saw her afterwards, and I was like, how are you doing? She's like, great. I was like, no, but how are you doing? She's like, what do you mean? And she was 6 weeks pregnant. And she knew, but nobody else knew. And I was like, no, you got a whole other... I saw it, man.
Wow.
I saw it. So anyway, and that child is now 16 or something.
Whoa.
But anyway, cool woo-woo stuff that happens at all times.
So, I mean, now even knowing that, back to the Beacon Jams, you're putting that out there? What?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Out
makes
into
sense.
those airwaves, those whatever waves that we're getting. And
Well, it's a whole crew of people doing
exactly.
that shit.
Well, it's a whole.
Yeah.
I get. Well, we're not talking to the
no,
crew.
I know.
We're talking to one.
I know.
One special one. All right. Forget about the crew for a minute.
Okay.
We know Trey is dope. We know everybody's dope on there. But that one, it's super inspiring.
Yeah.
And 2, that is probably the most unselfish, most wonderful thing to offer in addition to the talent that you're bringing.
Mm.
You are doing a healing session.
Yeah.
You literally are. And that to me is #goals, because that's not only are you playing some of the most gorgeous, dopest music we've heard, but now you're spilling that energy out into the crowd. And that's what we kind of like all talk about, like why No Simple Road exists. It's like, what is it about the live music experience? What is it? What's that turn on moment? For me, it's always been, I just love the healing arts. That's my bag. That's what I love. Music happens to be part of that. It is a healing art.
Mm-hmm.
So when you mesh those two things, like that conscious intention, and you've actually had training, and now you're putting that out there, that is the elevation that we've all been talking about and waiting for. Like, what else do we do with this music when it kind of stirs us up and then we leave, and then what? Well, we've just been hit with this freaking gorgeous energy. That's what it's about. Bringing it home, like amplifying it, like turning it out.
Yeah.
It's it's another part of serving.
Yes.
Like that's how I look. I'm in the service industry. And it's another way that I can help. You know, it's another way that I can serve.
You talking about seeing the energy. I had always heard stories about that, like obviously, and I mean, I've been in altered states of consciousness quite a bit in my life, and I've seen things, but never really like concrete where I'm like, oh shit, that was a thing.
Yeah.
And not until recently, within the past year, did I have an experience where I like physically saw someone pull energy out of someone else and like had to take it on myself and make it go back to the earth. Like,
Yeah.
but seeing that is, it's almost dreamlike in a way, because your rational mind is going, there's no way that this is a thing that I'm actually seeing. But then at the same time, your rational mind is like, you're awake and you're not
And you're
altered.
experiencing
Yeah.
it.
And this is happening and it's a thing. Did it take time for you to get comfortable with transmitting and also seeing that?
The seeing it came quickly, whether I wanted it to or not.
Okay.
That wasn't something that I, you know, in that first Reiki attunement, like I saw. April said, you know, this is after the fact too, so it wasn't something that got put in my head. She said, very often, whatever you experience in that attunement will follow you, will be the symbol from now on that like this is flowing or this is happening. And so I had, as that moment was happening in 2004 or whatever it was, you know, I had this moment of this gorgeous, like sort of trapezoidal, you know, purple thing. It was an object that was just emitting this light of the same color. And that thing has followed me around since that moment. And sometimes it comes in literal waves. Like I'll close my eyes and I'll see it as an ocean wave coming from right to left, but it's that color. And it's so interesting that because I know what it is and I know how beautiful it is, it's such a sense of comfort where like I'll be, you know, my mom still to this day will be like, what time's your flight? And then I know she's sending me Reiki and she won't say anything. And then I'll be on the plane and I'll be closing my eyes, drifting off, and I see it. And I'm like, thanks, Mom. It's such a feeling of comfort. And it's sort of like, just like a little like, hey, what's up to the universe? You know, like, yeah, I see you. Oh, thank you so much. I needed that, you know? And so I tend to be a very visual person anyway.
Yeah,
my
me
mom
too.
is not. My mom is like, she's tactile. So she feels things. She feels the people there. I see them. Yet we'll both have the same experience. Man, this just happened. We can go all the way if we're going.
I am so excited about you talking about this, Jen. Oh my God. I'm like,
half of your audience is like, next, and half of your audience is like, yes. So, okay, this just happened. So somebody in my family got COVID really, really, really bad, like on death's door situation. And my mom called me and she was like, hey, we're going to do like a remote Reiki session with everybody in the family and whatever. And I kind of put everybody in the you know, list of folks who could really use it, and called probably 10 practitioners and said, you know, Saturday at 7, we're going to sit down and we're going to, you know, if you can join us, great. And I was in Hawaii. I had shows in Hawaii. This was just in January. And so, you know, my husband's over there and I was like, I'll be back in 30 minutes. He's like, okay, cool. He knows the deal. He's like reading. I'm like,
just a minute.
Shut up. And so anyway, I'm having this experience, whatever. Everybody's sort of like in the circle and I'm aware of like who's on that list. And there's some people that I don't know and I bring them in for like however they want to appear. That's an interesting thing, is when you're sending Reiki to someone who you don't know and you can't physically picture. And then always someone's in there. Some sort of energy is in there that I would assume matches them, because I don't recognize that energy. Anyway, and so I was in that space for probably 10 minutes, and I heard my late aunt's voice, she was real gruff, and I heard her in that state go, the fuck am I, chopped liver?
Oh,
Like that I
shit.
didn't invite her to come like be part of the giving. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I started laughing and I was like, I'm so sorry I didn't invite you. And so I invite her in. Anyway, a couple hours later, I call my mom. And I was like, man, the funniest thing happened to me. And fucking she showed up in hers too. She goes, Dale showed up in mine and was like, how come you didn't invite me?
Wow.
Oh my
Like, before I
gosh.
could
Sorry,
even
Gail. Sorry, Aunt
And
Gail.
she's like, I thought, oh my God, how could I not? We always invite the ancestors. You know what I mean? Like we
Yeah.
always invite the people who have passed. And it was just like we had forgotten and she made it known that she was just giving us shit.
How
And
dare you.
anyway, stuff like that happens all the time.
Wow.
Oh my
So-
gosh.
So yes, I'm pretty woo to answer the question from 25
Okay.
minutes ago.
Okay, Jen, check here on my pad.
Mel's
Check
got
on
a
the
nice
woo.
check, yeah.
Woo check.
Okay. So on that note,
Oh, Jen, I loved you already, but thank you, man.
Yeah.
That is,
Yeah, of course. This is not anything I've ever shared with anybody either. So
Aw.
this is fun. That
Thank you. well,
this
it's
if
not
I could
fun
talk.
to share with people who don't get it. I feel
Yeah,
like.
no, you're right. Don't cast your pearls before swine. But then there's also those other people who don't even know about it that
Mhm.
really, they just need to be introduced to it. That's it,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I feel that a lot. I feel like, I think one of the greatest things about what we do here is, we have the two guys over here that are guys, and then we have me over here. But it does create quite the balance because, yes, it's fun to know like stats and technical stuff and all people's names and all that. But I really just love to get to the heart of people. And
Yeah.
I don't care what instrument you play or how you can hold your note or whatever. I want to know who's this person that's like bringing it. I want to know where their background's from. And because of all of our different interests, we get such a great, I feel, synopsis of who this person really is that's bringing this amazing music and energy to us.
And another part of it too is like meeting you. Now, when I come see you play, it's a different game.
Right.
100%.
Game
We're rooting
changer.
even
And-
harder.
And
Like,
we realized that early on, like when we were talking to these people that we love and admire so much, and then establishing a connection with them, then going to see them play, I was like, oh shit, we can do that with the show for the people that listen. We can elevate their experience too. And like that was like this huge thing. And like I was saying, on that note, all the music stuff aside, all the tab stuff, and how are you doing? Are you doing okay? Like we've been through a lot of shit, man. Are you hanging in there?
I'm hanging in there. I feel at least in my existence, which I don't like to be that selfish about it, but in my very small little bubble, my calendar's full. And I am so grateful. The first 3 months of lockdown were scary for obvious reasons, but also so necessary for me. I just I'm gone 300 days a year.
What?
I live in a house that I don't spend time in. I live in a city that I don't know. I know every other city better than the city that I live in. And so because we were forced to sit down, it really there was a whole reevaluation period of actually, but what do I want? Because I had the time to think about it. And so those 3 months were a real blessing. I didn't reach out to anybody. I just sort of went into hermit mode and didn't do anything. I didn't listen to music. I didn't write music. I didn't practice. I did nothing. And it was so important and necessary. And then once I sort of came out of that, I started to, implement some things things I wasn't going to do anymore. Things that sorry, I have a hair in my mouth. It's really awkward. There it is. Okay, great. That was going to go on for 20 more minutes.
Why is she pulling at her lip?
Because she keeps grabbing her whole tongue and pulling it up. It was this sort of beautiful time where we all got to say, okay, if money was no object, what would we say yes and what would we say no to? Because money, there was no money.
Yeah.
No one was paying for
Nothing.
my job. No one was paying for nothing. And so it became abundantly clear what I wanted to be a part of and what I just thought like we've outgrown that. So that was a nice little gift. And then, I just I made some health promises to myself. That's been amazing. And really like held on to it. I feel really proud of myself for that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like it has been it's been a real.
What is a city without its music?
The legacy of the New York Philharmonic
Is incredible. Nearly 2 centuries of history. That's a lot of music and a lot of stories.
I was sitting on stage for the very first time thinking, I can't quite believe this is happening.
Join me, Jamie Bernstein, as we explore the history of the New York Philharmonic. It's the NY Phil story made in New York, a podcast about a city, its people, and their orchestra. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
Just in all the nonsense, there's been a lot of amazing things and a lot of growth that's happened. And I'm thrilled that I got to make like the record of my life that's finished and coming out at the end of the year.
Yeah.
All kinds of things. My husband and I were home together for the first time ever because he also travels for a living. So we spent a year and a half living in the same house together. And we still really like each other, which is
Right.
cool.
That's
Oh.
cool.
We still like each other.
Score.
We're coming up on 10 years together. It's
Congratulations.
oh, cool. I do like you. Get down. So, there's just like, I'm not like a dweller on the negative. I think it's
That's important.
It sucks. It sucks to do that. And I know that I'm very lucky to have the outlook that I do and also a roof over my head. You know what I mean? There's people who are not faring so well, and I want to be very careful and conscious of what other people are going through.
Mm-hmm.
But in my life, I am extremely blessed and excited for the future and feeling good.
Yeah.
So.
Heck yeah. You made a post. I read it to them before we got on. The post you made kind of at the beginning of the quarantine thing about how and the whole world has now realized this, that beauty, power, money mean nothing and everything. And that was like a wake up call. And then like at the end of that post where it's like, but the earth has spoken, Mother Nature and everything. Yeah. You are unnecessary. When we come back from this, realize we are not the master, we are the guest. I love that post.
Yeah.
It kind of sums it up. And that was, at the beginning of this. And now here we are coming back. Yeah. And I think everybody like us getting to return to stage and everything, live music. Us, one of the first things we got to go to was to go see Phish at the Gorge up here, which, I mean, you talk about a comeback from nothing to something. It was, and it was just amazing. And you can feel it. Everybody has changed for the better when we congregate now. Mm-hmm. The love is so strong. Yeah. And it's just growing now.
Yeah.
And I can't wait. That's one thing I wanted to add, because we're kind of heading that direction. You got a lot of interesting stuff coming up, like going to Iceland to do the Heartless thing, with Humphreys and joining O'Teal and Friends.
Yeah,
and
that's all coming up. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff. There's all kinds of really fun stuff. Iceland will be cool. I've never been there before. I'll be over there with Humphreys and Talk is over there in Star Kitchen. And then there's all these late night slots, and Bayless wasn't going to do any late nights. He's like, I'm not doing any. I was like, oh, all right.
Sure you're not.
And then he was like, oh, with my family, we want to do dumb touristy stuff. Like, we never get to do this, whatever. And I said, okay. He's like, but like, if you get in like a pickle and like, you need me. And I was like, the Catholic guilt is so real. And so I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, so he's like, yeah, if we could do a Heartless set, then I would do it. And I was like, okay, great. Well, you have a gig Saturday night now. So.
Boom.
And really, he's like, he blames it on his wife. He's like, it's only because my wife loves you that this is even a possibility. It's like, it's cool. So
yeah,
it'll be fun.
The O'Teal and Friends too. That looks like a pretty stellar lineup of human beings on that stage.
Yeah, and good songs. We just got the song list yesterday. Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, it feels really good to, like, I don't know, like you said, my cup is full right now. And I think going back into everything with a new perspective is really important, and it's easy to let it slip, I think, in some ways, to like the lessons that we've learned to just get busy and start moving again without the intention that it deserves. And I think talking to people like you, at least for me, is a nice reminder of like, hey man, good, your calendar's full, and that's sweet and everything, but remember why you're doing this and what it's for, and don't get it fucking twisted. Yeah.
Also, I just want to throw out there too, like, when you are blessed, you gotta accept that and like kill it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we do want to, of course you want to be conscious and careful and not to like offend or hurt anybody else's life or plight or where they're at, but to not fully accept a blessing that you've either earned or gotten through luck or whatever, that's a huge slap in the face, because now you're rejecting something that somebody else doesn't even have. So with all your might, it's got to be accepted, with every
that's also a place where I struggle, because like givers don't have a hard time accepting.
Yes.
And so I remember it's very simple exchange, but it was a powerful lesson, and I want to thank whoever did this for me. But I was at a little show of my own. I was at the merch table. Somebody bought vinyl, and it's $25, and they handed me $50, and they wouldn't take change for it. And I made I was like, no, absolutely not. I'm getting you change. And the person behind him put their hand over my wrist and said, don't you block his blessing.
Oh.
And I was like, he's like, this man's trying to bless you. Don't you block his blessing.
Wow.
And I was like, right, how am I making him feel? By being like, absolutely not. You know what I mean? Like, he wanted to do that. And it was a good lesson. It's a good lesson.
Wow.
You gotta accept it.
That's a great note to end on.
Yeah.
Do not block your blessings with Jennifer.
It's funny. Just when I reached out to you, I knew, I don't always feel like this, but I knew we were going to have fun when we talked. And when we started emailing back and forth, I was like, oh, this is going to be so much fun. And I'm just really, really happy and grateful that you did this with us, because you're beautiful.
And our audience needs it. They need to hear you so much. This conversation, I'm telling you, they need to hear it.
Yeah. Well, thank you. Thank you for the invite. You're all lovely. Let's hang out in the same room together.
Please.
When you get your new studio.
Let's do it.
Wherever.
All right.
Whenever you're back in Portland, you consider you have a place to come. Always.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, Jennifer. You enjoy the rest of your weekend, and sending our love.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for sharing time, Jennifer.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Sending you that Reiki energy, girl.
Yes. I'm accepting it as a blessing.
Yes.
Not blocking
Yes.
No, don't block it. Take care, sister. Bye-bye.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
I
say
love
yes.
her.
Yeah, oh, yes.
I want to give her a hug so much.
Well, it comes through in her music, all the energy that she carries and everything, and to see that carrying over into her life and how she came to that we got a good background there on Jennifer
and
of everything.
Let's say this. That couldn't have been the more perfect last interview in this studio.
Oh. She filled it with her Reiki energy.
Yep, thank you.
She was part of something that really helped to get the black cloud and the funk out of our lives during a really hard time.
That shit saved my mind.
And she's wrapped up something such that we've had such beautiful times and such amazing conversations and No Simple Road has changed and grown so much in this place. And what a amazing person to usher us out and into something fresh and new.
To me, that's like that. You talk about the pinnacle of like, and I mean power in the best way, like power, humble power.
Yeah, look, I wrote it in her thing. Powerful energy. This, I mean, you can.
And so humble and open about it. Like the story of meeting Trey, her Reiki experience with her parents, just everything.
I love
that was delightful.
I would love, like when Sydney decided to do Reiki, and I mean, I don't know if I expressed it enough, but like that was a big deal to me because Reiki's incredible.
And your daughter's following.
And my daughter's following footsteps. If my family did that, like Simon decides and you guys, like what? The amount of power that would come through is insane. It already comes through, but it would be even, well,
focused.
Yeah. I'm just saying. Just throwing it out there. Thank you, Jennifer.
So there's like dirt, and Mel just walked by with like a bunch of seeds and was like, plink, flicked them in, and they're just planted now.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens.
Hey, shit seems to grow very well around here.
Honestly, Jennifer, thank you. Like, just from me, and I know, of course, the whole NSR crew, but thank you for sharing and talking about your Reiki. Thanks for sharing and talking about your life and being an open book, and I'm so appreciative and grateful.
Yeah. And you know, I guess I didn't really think about this much when we were discussing moving the studio yesterday, but like this is the end of something.
Yeah, I just said that.
No, I was just saying I didn't really think about that. I didn't I was just like, yeah, we're moving the studio, big deal. But like this is the end of something, and the physical space is getting larger, and it's a representation of what's happening with the thing that we've all created together.
Yeah, we've gone through several moves.
Yeah, we went from
tiny little
porch,
the porch, and then the dining room table
when it was too cold to be on the porch,
and then from the dining room table to in here, and then from in here to
now a bigger space.
And No Simple Road is taking up a bigger space, and I'm really grateful to everybody that listens to the show for affording us the opportunity to have the conversations that we're having. It's not because of us; it's because of you guys, and
well, it's because of these incredible musicians that share their lives with us.
Yeah, and
well, it's like we hear all them say they wouldn't be up on stage
without the fans,
without an audience.
Yeah,
right. And I just I want you guys out there to know that I am aware that it's because of you that we get to do this, and being a good steward of the blessings that we've been given, and the gift of being able to do No Simple Road and have it grow and be a thing and be something that you want to sit down and listen to every week. That means I say it a lot, but I hope that the weight of the words and how I feel when I say it comes through, that like really does mean the world. It's our life, you guys.
Yeah, it really is.
This is our life we're doing right here. There's no like, when we stop doing this, it doesn't stop when the mics shut off. What we talk about, what our calendars are filled with, the trips that we take, the places that we go, the friends that we surround ourselves, all come from this. And it's a big deal. So just thanks to everybody. And hey, don't stop listening, because we're going to teleport into the future. You ready? 1, 2, 3. That is a laugh that I could listen to all day long. That is a wonderful human being.
We love laughter, especially Mel. You heard her in the beginning there. Guys, she oh my gosh, her laughter brought us all up a notch. We had so much fun doing that.
Again, Jen, thank you so much for hanging out with us. It felt like we were hanging with an old friend, and it's a huge honor for the three of us to sit down with you, man. It's a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
You have done some amazing things, and you have blessed us over and over and over again. And I hope that our conversation was a little bit of giving back to you. You lightened your day, and
Yeah.
You know, everybody out there, I'm sure, is feeling the love right now too. So
It changed the whole vibe of the day. After that conversation, it was just so charged the rest of the day.
I love too, like we mentioned that it was the last interview in what was the studio upstairs, which is now my bedroom, which I'll just throw in there. I finally finished painting, pulling it all together. But what better blessing of an interview like that to leave that left an energy in there that I moved into.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you, Jennifer.
Yeah,
that was the that'll always hang
that
there.
Reiki energy.
Yeah, that was the last interview up there before I took it over as my abode there.
So you guys,
What?
it's Thursday. It's Thursday morning right now. It's 4 a.m. on the West Coast. It's 7 a.m. on the East Coast. This is out now. We are most likely at
In air?
No. If it's 4 a.m., we are waking up.
Okay.
And getting ready. We're on the way to the airport.
Yeah.
most
Oh, yeah,
likely.
okay.
And we're going down to Skull and Roses, and I wanted to ask both of you guys, all three of us, a question, myself included.
You ask yourself a question.
Mhm.
That's cool. Do you know what it is?
I do.
You already have an answer, though. That's not fair. If
I
you already
don't
know the question.
I actually
Apple,
don't.
either one of us can
Let's
go
go.
first.
I'm on the fly on this
Remember
one.
that thing I asked you? He don't know.
Okay, Okay.
Wow. You guys
All right.
just... Anyway.
Sorry, I just had to mess with you a little.
All right. Mel,
Yes.
this is a two-parter.
Okay.
Okay. First, what one Grateful Dead song are you most looking forward to seeing this weekend?
You know the answer.
No, I don't.
Okay.
And what one thing are you hoping to find on the shakedown? Mm-hmm. How you like them apples?
Okay. So.
And doses doesn't. That's a non-answer.
Okay. I had to think about that for a minute. I hope to find that same Guatemalan vendor. I want to
With
talk
those shoes?
the Wachera or what Wachu. Can't even remember.
Huaraches. I don't know. Anyway.
Yes, something more like that. And anything from his booth. I don't know what it's going to be magic. Last time I got this amazing like headband that every time I wear it, everyone's like, "That's so beautiful. Where'd you get it?" It's that yellow one.
Oh yeah. I know
yeah.
the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and so something from him, and also my favorite song is Viola Lee, and I just love that song so much, and I feel like I still have yet to see it like how I want to see it.
Well, we've seen a heavy Viola Lee from Phil and the Terrapin Family Band with damn it, give me a second. No,
Metzger?
No, not Metzger.
Krasno?
Krasno. With
Krasno.
Okay.
Oh.
At the Crystal
I'm
Ballroom.
not saying I haven't seen a good one. I'm saying I feel like I still am chasing a certain way that I want to hear it, and I know that it's
that's
out
what you
there.
need.
That's fair.
Yeah, it's
That's
not.
that
It's.
itch.
I've seen good ones. I've seen and last Skull and Roses there was an amazing one. I remember. I just don't remember who did it because that was so many moons ago. But yeah, it was. That's my one that I hope that I get to hear, and it like grabs me by the back of the neck, like wherever I'm at, and like what you
You're
need
on the
to listen
beach,
to this.
and then all of a sudden, Viola Lee comes and snatches you by the back of your head.
Yeah.
All right.
Snatch you by the back.
Sand goes flying. All right, senor.
Same question.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Well,
No.
we got to ask the merch whore
Taylor.
what merch he's looking for.
All right, what I agree with the Guatemala, but the one I want to see again is that my little weird wolf
Oh my
puppet that I
gosh.
got.
Yes.
There was that booth, that weird. It was a
Puppet
trip.
booth?
Yeah, and they were like gypsies. The girl and
yes,
the dad
yes.
that were in there, and they were making the handmade puppets, and then they had all kinds of different jewelry, hair bands.
What's your puppet's name?
Django?
What's your puppet's name?
Manolo.
And they're the coolest things. They have an energy about them. When I got it, and Django's part of my life now. But I
Yeah.
hope to see them again. And
Is
the
Django a
Guatemalan
wolf?
Right?
Is Django
Yeah,
a wolf?
Django's a wolf.
And yours is
Manolo is a fabulous eagle that has this like rock star 80s hair, and it's white, and he has like a fabulous like cape. Like his wings are the cape, and it's incredible. Like this thing, when I saw it, I fell in love with it.
And that's what I did. It was like, oh my God. And then talking to them. They were magical. They were magical, trippy.
They put like energy into these. They had characters. Like, so you were attracted to this certain like
and it was, so people know too that these are, it's like
what I was gonna say.
It's like a puppet. It's on like an elastic string,
like
with the little ring at the top, like you'd have on a yo-yo or something, and that you just kind of bounce them around. It's not like a marionette. It's on one string, but they're kind of floppy,
and it's maybe 4 inches tall.
No, Jenga, he's like about like that, like about a foot tall.
Really?
All flappy arms.
Manolo is probably like 6 inches.
Okay, I'm bad with numbers.
Yeah, Django's pretty tall.
All right, what song, Apple?
The song I'm looking for, because of where we're going and what it means to all of us, in fact, it is when Ripple hits again, because just the memory of when we were there in 2019 and we were all in different places. Like we were out, kind of fanned out. We weren't doing any more interviews. I remember me and Ryder were up in the bleachers, and then you guys were down off on the side doing something. And as soon as Ripple came on, I seen you guys come. You were looking at us, and we were looking down at you. And we all came running. Me and Ryder like boom, boom, down, ham hawking down the bleachers, and we all met up and just stood there embracing each other, and then kept our arms around each other, listening to Ripple with just tears streaming of happiness, and no simple highway. I'm looking forward to when that hits.
All right. So Aaron, what about you? What
hey, Aaron.
Hold on, Aaron. Let's do this right.
Okay.
So babe, if I were to ask you what particular item you'd be wanting to find on that shakedown, what would the answer be?
Okay, it's a 2-part answer. I got a patch last time we went to Skull and Roses, a back patch for my camouflage jacket.
Yep.
And it's a mandala bolt rainbow patch. And it made that jacket one of my favorite pieces of clothing that I own. And I'm on the hunt for another back patch. Okay?
There you go.
But the conversation that we had, and I wish I could remember his name, but it's the dude that owns and runs Tripper's Hollow.
Oh yeah.
Dale?
No. You'll never, in a million years, will you remember his name.
I remember because we follow him. Okay, you're right. At
anyway,
the moment, you're right.
Go on Instagram and follow @Tripper's Hollow, and you'll see what I'm talking about. This is like some serious, energetic mandala, Grateful Dead, puzzle, badass designs. Each design is infused with like so much intention and thought, and it's like a sigil, and the sigil sings the song. And
I know every time you look at like the one you got, so you see something different in it every time. It's so intricate and so much going on.
Do I have one?
And you bought one. Thought you bought one there or ordered one when we got back or something. Yeah, you have one.
Wow, far out. Anyway, I want to get something from him this year. There, again, yeah. That conversation with him is one of my favorite conversations that we've ever had at a festival.
I remember that you guys hit it all. You're hanging. We went over there. Yeah, you sat there. You interviewed him, and then we continued to hang out with him over the next couple of days, going by and hanging out, just shooting the breeze.
I hope he's going to be there again. And that's part of the thing like that we do when we go to festivals and stuff is like try and give you as the listener, if you weren't able to be there, like a feeling of what it felt like to go hang out. Like that's part of what you do when you go to a festival is you walk around and talk with the vendors and bullshit with your friends and listen to the music and have a good time and go out into the shakedown and all the weird stuff that goes on at shows and festivals. And like if you weren't able to be there, we'll go and record as much of it as possible for you and put it together in such a way that when you listen to it, you kind of feel like you've been there. So you can go back and listen to the old Skull and Roses. I think there's a 2-part episode that we did for the Skull and Roses in 2019.
I think I'm going to do that before we leave, or on,
and there's
on
some
the plane.
like, there's some really hilarious shit that on that. And also like, there's one moment that stands out in my mind from that show as far as like trippy moments of like weird, high strangeness and weirdness. And it was the Saturday night when Big Steve was doing story time. And I was standing there with John Lavero from the Higgs, and we were tripping on Big Steve. And it was so funny. The story that he was telling was so fucking hilarious. And it was like, he was telling one story, but it was actually like 7 stories at the same time on different levels. And I still to this day, don't know how he does that, but he does that. And everybody around was just like looking at each other like, what the hell is going on right now? And cracking up. And it was so much fun. And I caught it. I had the presence of mind, turn the recorder on
to record.
So I caught a lot of it, and that's in that recording from that show too. So but as far as Grateful Dead song,
I didn't ask that question, but
that's a tough question.
I know. Well, yeah, that took his vendor thing took a while.
Well, I like. We do have a podcast.
You crack. I just say Mel knows what I mean. That's when you crack me up.
You guys, he was hurrying
He always
me up
does
earlier.
that one. You're like one thing, and then you're like, okay, mine's a 3-parter with a 4th part and a subtext. And
this is what I want to talk about.
You guys only
right
get one thing, but it's hard. It's hard to narrow it down to one thing.
So
it is hard to narrow it down to one thing. I want a back patch.
What song?
Okay, so the back patch and what? Yeah, what song?
Well, there's 2. No, I'm just kidding.
It's actually a whole suite.
I want to see a really super trippy Dark Star.
Okay.
Yeah.
A good trippy Dark Star.
And it's all over now, Baby Blue and a Ripple. No, I'm just kidding. Dark Star. Really, really super trippy Dark Star. That's pick
a good
for the weekend.
I want a really fucking killer St. Stephen too, because that just gets everybody wound up. Everybody starts spinning in circles and just fucking it like
I can smell the beginning of that song.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
Yep. I've never seen that where everybody doesn't just like start spinning and dancing from just a couple notes.
It's a musk of like, well, now it's like vape and pot smoke, DMT, BO, and unwashed humans.
Yeah, and the excitement and the dancing stirs all that up. It's like Pigpen from Charlie Brown. It starts spinning in a circle and it just waves out.
It's this huge cloud of funk, and it's the best.
Then you
funk.
add all the killer weed to it that gets so fucking heavy. It's like almost a medicinal smell with all the weed wafting.
I'm excited about all of it.
And then the nice smell of the beach, the oceans, the breeze.
That beach, man. They had in 2019 when you first walked into the venue, like you went through whatever I'm doing air quotes for security. You went through security, and then there was like food trucks, and then you turned right and you went into the venue. But where the food trucks were, there was a Mr. Softy truck.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, I remember that.
When I saw that, I literally got like I was 10 years old or something. Like, oh my God, I want ice cream, but I'm dairy free, but I want ice cream.
that place killed it. There was a line the entire time. Remember that?
Yeah.
Everybody was taking care of you. It was like somebody would hold place for a while and somebody come along. All right, okay. I need 17 chocolate cones, 14.
Oh my gosh, that was fun.
That was so good. They had good food vendors, everything there.
I had a grilled cheese with like brisket. It was.
Oh, I remember that too.
Yeah, man. And this festival was like a huge deal for the 3 of us.
Heck yeah,
it was. I mean, it still is. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. It still is.
This festival is a huge deal for the 3 of us.
But going to that one in 2019 was a huge deal for us then. Like, I remember when the first one happened, and I was sitting on the porch watching O'Teal perform from there, and they had like the wall of sound behind him. And I remember thinking to myself, that would be so cool if we could podcast from there. Like, I wonder if we could make that happen. And just like the genesis of the idea of doing it. And I remember the moment. And I remember reaching out to them through the website. There's like a contact thing on the website. And the response I got back was from Dennis McNally. And that's how I met Dennis. And I shit my pants.
I remember when you got that. I remember that.
I freaked out. And I remember the email was like, we'd love to talk to you. Let's set up a call. And I was so nervous. I was at work and I had to like go. We have like at my job, we have like it's called the map room, and nobody's in there. And so I had to like sneak into the map room so that I could have privacy and not be out where everybody works. And I was shaking at the time I was calling him. Like, I was so nervous and trying to be so professional. And like, and then I got on the phone with Dennis, and he was like, this fucking computer of mine, this Apple, and I was like, I can help you with your Apple computer. I used to work there. And from that moment, man, and it's just a trip to think back on all that stuff. And
that's so crazy.
Yeah,
I remember that story. I was like, babe, like, I don't know. Every time you do something amazing, I'm sorry if I downplay it, because I really do think it's incredible. But I feel like you deserve it. So that's why I'm like, it's not that big a deal.
Oh, thanks, babe.
Like you work for it. Of course you're going to get it. Like,
well, that's not true. There's a lot of things I've worked for that we haven't gotten.
Well, I mean, we're still alive and kicking. I mean,
that's true.
And some things, well, I mean, podcast wise, I think, like she's saying,
yeah,
you put a lot into this, man.
There's some people,
to see you. Like you just start getting teary eyed just thinking about it. You put a lot into this, and it we're little geeks about it. Like Mel said, she didn't see like that we get giddy kind of with certain people and stuff, because it's like our 18, 19-year-old selves, like we talk about, never pictured us being any more than somebody out in the crowd, which I mean that's enough. Plenty. But to have Dennis McNally in our corner and looking forward to seeing us. And I'll never forget when we interviewed him and his wife, who we've had on the show too, Susanna. She was so excited for us to talk to him. And he was like kind of shining, like what are you gonna talk to me for? Kind of. That's what I love about you, Dennis. I love about Dennis. He's like, he seems kind of cranky, but he's not. He's so loving and so much energy and takes care of so much and so many people. I remember interviewing him. It was so sweet because he immediately just got into some stories, and we had such a good time with him.
You know, one of the things that tripped me out about meeting him and others that are or were involved in the Grateful Dead organization itself, as a kid, like 19, 20, 21, whatever, when I was on tour and after, in my mind, the people that all worked for Grateful Dead and Grateful Dead Productions were, hippies. It was a bunch of deadheads. And not that it's not, but it's not what you think. Yeah. It is not what you think. Like, it's
not what you thought.
No, okay. Yeah, it's not what I thought. It's like not some dude named Moonbeam with like, he's got his crystal next to the phone. You know what I mean? It's just, these are like legit professional human beings that this is their career and they know their shit. Yeah. And they also happen to be on the bus.
Well, and then you throw in that whole crew, that crew that built the stages and put the walls out. Those are construction workers. Like those shirts they always wore, that first one's in, last one's out. They're busting ass
and high
doing that stuff. Yeah,
high as kites too. Yeah, so it's just a trip to think back, dude. mean, I know that the first episode of this show was like all about my first experience at a Grateful Dead concert. And like, you know, over the 5 years, we've, the show has grown and become more than a Grateful Dead podcast. You know, it encompasses just music now, the jam scene and beyond. But what the Grateful Dead represents for me and like so many other people, it's so deep. It's
roots.
It's
life.
And think about what that means. Like, you know, if you say that's my roots, right? Like, think about the tree that's in your front yard, and you can see all the branches that are on the tree, and you can see its leaves, and you can, you know, see the parts that are exposed. But the roots are underground, they're buried, and those are the things that are actually keeping that thing alive.
Yeah,
that's where
the nutrients.
That's where the nutrients come in. That's where the water gets in. That's how it communicates with all the other trees, is through the root system.
That's the part that's protected by Mother Nature the most.
Yep. And so saying that something is your roots is a big deal. And that...
Is it not?
No, it absolutely isn't. So that's what I was just going to say. That Grateful Dead family is my roots. And it taught me so much. I was such a dumb shit. Like, as a kid, I was such a dumbass with psychedelics. I didn't have anybody older to help me, and I was just balls out, and I still am in a lot of ways. But like, I didn't never have anybody to like take me under their wing and, hey kid, you know, take it easy, or none of that. And so I fucked myself up pretty good before I ever got into the Dead. And I was a little broken, a lot broken, and had a lot of like hang-ups and misconceptions and fears and traumas and shit that happened to me that I didn't even have language to be able to say what I just said then. Do you get what I mean? Like, it was a mess. That's all it was. And after I went to my first show, I started getting put back together by the music and the lyrics and like the community of it and the whole scene. It put me back together, and it helped me to like become human again and find my place, because I was fucking lost at sea.
It nurtured you.
Yeah. I was really messed up. And I'm really grateful for it, man. And yeah, I'm really fucking grateful for it. It's a big deal. It's
Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's yeah, it's the roots, man. And so being able to go to a festival like this and celebrate that for 4 days with you guys and the No Simple Road family and the Grateful Dead family, which is all the same thing anyway, it's really special.
And we're going to have a lot of our Oregon family there this time too, which is cool. Bryce and the boys and other
Oh,
things
yeah.
going
I was
on.
just
So
saying today I
excited
miss
about
Bryce,
that.
man.
Yeah. I see Brady and Jen are going to be there. It's going to be cool. I'm hoping we see Ash and Raphael.
We will. I've been communicating with Ash.
That was another one of the things I was going to bring up that was so fun when we were out in the parking lot that day.
Oh,
when we interviewed them. You know, what
We'll have to
that
do that
turned
again.
into and the friendship. And
Yeah, and everybody knows my fun time with Rolf that one night. It was such a fun... That
running
was
through
that
the
was
crowd.
the equivalent of me running in the gorge to Antelope when Phish was playing that.
Yeah.
Like, that was the equivalent, but it was in Ventura. Like, just that running so fast through the crowd, feeling so... I felt like a bird in the crowd somehow. Like, just coasting.
I get it.
It was
Well, how about
amazing.
I've been a bird in the crowd.
The other thing, so that this is my fourth part to my fifth sub part. How about when we get to see Melvin Saturday
Oh,
night after having interviewed him and got to
Wow,
talk to
Apple.
Melvin, and now to
Wow.
see him up there doing his
Knowing his
thing on that organ, man.
Mhm.
Feel it right now. It's just like,
Omega
I'm
Melvin.
gonna be like one of the ladies in church, sitting over in the stands, like with the fan, going, "Oh Lord,
Dude. Yeah.
It's gonna go down in a freaking hard, awesome, major way.
Ah.
It's gonna go down.
I just can't. I think like, I mean, nobody has any idea what their life would be like if it wasn't the way it is now. You know what I mean? There's no way to know, but like, God, I can't even imagine if I hadn't have found that. I can't even imagine what would have happened to me and who I would be now.
We were both like stuffy bank executives that don't listen to music.
I doubt it. No, because music was a huge deal for us, dude.
No, I know. I'm just saying. Do you think I'm serious?
Oh.
That was a stat. Like, yeah, you just said no one knows. Like, what a whole different way. Or we're still this age, and like, I only listen to thrash.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
Apple, if you could have your alter life, what would it be?
My alter life.
What, do I get to keep this one too?
No, just like okay, you're yourself right now, but like if it wasn't you and you made all your dumb choices, what would it be? What would your life be?
If I made continue to make
like
dumb choices, where would I be at?
I'd be dead.
Yeah, most likely. Oh,
that's an easy answer.
No, like if I would have. I don't know. Like being as a kid, being a kid, I always wanted to work in a zoo or be a veterinarian.
That's cute.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude! 33
Dude,
years of being your best friend, and I never knew that.
You didn't know that?
No.
Well, I guess
When
I was
did you ask
we
him
met
that
in
question,
our
Aaron?
We met right at our teens. I was all about, like all kids, like into dinosaurs, and I was totally into the zoology thing.
Really?
And yeah,
You would have been great at that.
reading encyclopedia. Like my mom.
Oh, it's
got
a shame you're who you are.
It was like it was like the encyclopedia of the animal kingdom that we had at one time, and you got like a new one every month until you had the collection.
Right.
And oh God, I love that. Plus, where we were growing up on Bronco, a lot of our neighbors had horses and stuff. Even
the
though
street was called Bronco.
I am very afraid of horses to this day. After seeing our neighbor get kicked in the chest and go to the hospital and almost die. He was like 6. I was like 8.
Oh shit!
Yeah. And it was their horse, and it was
baby.
one of those things like he just happened to walk behind it.
You
He got
don't walk
spooked,
behind a
kicked
horse.
him in the chest, and like almost caved his chest in. But growing up around there was a lot of animals in that neighborhood and stuff. A lot of ranchers.
Yeah,
and
my
everything.
uncle lived in that neighborhood.
I just always loved animals and wanted to be a veterinarian, or even like by junior high age, I became a marine biologist. I wanted to work like on a boat.
So it
like
went from
Life of
zoologist,
Steve Sassu.
went from zoologist to marine biologist to stoner.
Yeah. And now here at 50, like if I didn't have to worry, or not even have to worry, I would it'd be cool to work at a zoo. I always thought that'd be cool.
Go get a job at
To
the
work
zoo.
at the
It's right
zoo.
around the
That's
corner.
what Nate's like, you should volunteer. They're always taking volunteers and stuff. And
One of my friend's husband used to work at that zoo.
What
a
about
great
you,
to
Mel?
me, what a great thing being around animals, because I've worked retail now again for a while.
Yeah, that would
and
be cute.
I mean, I love humanity, but working with people in retail can get really tiresome.
It can. It definitely rides that nerve.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you, Mel?
If
in your
what am I
alternate?
in my alter life? I don't know. I think I'd probably be like a nomad, and I'd just travel and not have a spot.
That's what you wanted to be when you were a kid?
I just wanted to do something different, like that I didn't
know
about. So I just wanted to make choices that I
Like a world traveler. and
yeah,
just keep
exactly. Like just
on to the next.
Mel's a travel blogger.
Yeah, I guess I would blog. Yeah, I'd probably be better at photos then too. But yeah, I would have liked to do that. because it's
that kind of makes sense. Like with the collaging and everything, that's like a collage life.
Yes.
It's like taking bits and pieces, then you move on to the next thing and take bits of cultures and
just because I love that. I do love cultures. I love religion. I love people. I like interaction. I like new. So it just kind of it seems like it would like satisfy a lot of different things, like trying new things and being in a new place and like trying to communicate the language of the people in like these short times. And, you know, just touch also, like, I guess because it's such a big sense for me too, like there's a lot that you can learn from touch. Like, you know, when you touch somebody's shoulder, like, oh, you know, like it makes them feel better, or like lets you know that they're friendly or something, or so yeah, I just feel like that kind of whirlwind lifestyle would be cool.
All right, Mr. Conductor, what would you have been? A carpet salesman.
You know those guys that
traveling dictionary.
You know those guys that push the trash can around with the broom? Janitor. No. When I was a kid, I really, really wanted to be a fighter pilot.
Okay.
Really bad.
Be in the Air Force.
So bad that I made my dad send me to military school. I'm the only person I know that sent themselves to military school.
And that's something I didn't know until later in our friendship too. When I was like, bullshit, and you'd busted out some pictures of you all in your uniform and everything.
Blues. Very cute.
And then you continued to want to be in the Coast Guard for a long time and fly helicopter.
I really, really wanted to learn how to fly. For some reason, like flight, like Superman flight, in an airplane flight, in whatever, hang glider, whatever.
Flying.
It always was fascinating to me. I remember in Vegas, they opened this thing called Flyaway.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of those wind tunnel things. And I had to go there. Like, you can fly inside of a thing, like without it. I'm going to that, and it sucked. I hurt myself and slammed into the wall. But yeah, fighter pilot. And I couldn't do it because my eyes are fucked up. And then I discovered drugs, and yeah.
Then you start flying a different way.
Yeah. I went internal flight.
And I know I've asked you this before, but I just got to ask on the pod. So like we've talked about your mom's side of the family with like the circus performer. Uh-huh. You never, I think the answer is no. You never had any desire to be any kind of a performer in that.
You wanted some magician. You were going to be a magician.
What?
I'm just making it up.
Oh. Like, what are you never?
So I wanted to be just like Siegfried and Roy.
Is this your card? No.
Yeah. You were into magic as a little kid, though.
Yeah.
You said that.
Yes. I used to buy those magic sets, and
you were
shit
awesome
like
at making cocaine disappear in high
I was
school.
amazing at making cocaine disappear. I still don't know where I did with it, though.
I jest.
No, you don't. That's the truth. No, dude. I never, ever wanted to be in the circus. Okay. It was such a turnoff to me because...
Okay, but if you had to be somebody...
In the circus, if I had to be somebody... Okay, Ben and I had this conversation.
Why does that make sense? All right.
Ben and I had this conversation actually walking out of Pigeons playing ping pong.
Okay.
And Ben said, if you were going to be in the circus, I can't believe I've had this talk. If you were going to be in the circus, what would you be? And I was like, I don't know. I'm probably a lion tamer. And he's like, no way, dude. You'd be the strong man in one of those leopard what's the wrestling singlet.
That's what got me looking at singlets.
And mustache. And the mustache that curls and a bald head. And he was like, yeah, dude, that's what you would be. Honestly, growing up around circus, it was so gross to me as a kid. It always smelled bad, and it was like somewhere that I always had to wait as a child.
Okay.
Like my mom visiting with people backstage, and like it was boring. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't like going to the circus fun. It was like,
no, it's like, here you sit
on this box while
with
mom
all the weird smells of a circus and the weird people.
Yes, and then everybody was like creepy.
Yeah.
Especially the clowns.
I remember That's what I was just gonna say. I've talked to you about that. You guys about that. My grandpa Apple, who's not my blood grandfather, but my grandpa Apple was one of the original Keystone Cops during black and white films. Then went on to become an accountant and be just kind of an ass. but he was a clown. He was in the Shriners, and they do the clown. And I it's amazing to me. So many people have a phobia of clowns. I don't have a phobia of clowns. I was just kind of in that world of the clown. Like I'd see his buddies, they would come over to my grandpa's house, like out of makeup, but they were still fucking clown, and they were weird.
Yeah.
And they smelled, and they all smoked cigars and drank bourbon. So to me, clowns, it was always like kind of like, oh, that's gross. Not like scary or like Pennywise or anything.
And
clowns are a trip.
Oh.
If they have a clown college, trips me out to this day.
That is a thing. But so going to the circus was a nightmare, and then but if I had to do it, I would have done the trapeze. 100%. My whole family was a trapeze.
Well, it was fascinating. It was dope.
Yeah, probably a catcher because the swinging, the flipping, and that I'm so scared of heights that I would lock up. But I could I could hang on the swing and catch somebody coming at me. That doesn't seem as scary.
I just remember being a kid to your family. That was your uncle's house, and
that'd be hot.
There was two of them in the neighborhood. There was your uncle right by Edna and El
the
Camino,
Farfans and then
the one.
Yes.
Okay, and I remember being a kid when we moved in that neighborhood in like 1979. So I was like 10, and that was one of the things all the neighborhood kids did. We'd ride our bikes, and we'd just sit there and watch them for hours, and to us like fantasizing of like, oh gosh, I wish I could do that. And then I remember like your uncle, like the neighbor kids, if they wanted to and parents' permission, would let them come play on it and stuff. I never did. I was always I was afraid of heights and
I got
things,
up there and locked
but it was
up.
so cool to watch.
Up there. You would think I had gone up a whole bunch of times in my life.
No.
Twice.
Both
times I locked up, and they had to get somebody to come get me down.
Okay, that would have been me.
I couldn't handle the heights. So
anyway, call the fire department and get jackass down off the rig.
So here we are. We've traveled down Grateful Dead memory lane.
That was a fun.
We went to the circus. Mel became a bohemian. Apple's a zoologist, and I'm killing people in airplanes. So
heck yeah!
All right, welcome to No Simple Road. Thanks for staying.
Have a nice day. Thanks for listening. Hey, that was great.
Hey, we gave you an amazing episode with Jennifer Hartswick, so
we
can at least give us this.
and we just kind of did an outro yesterday. We usually talk about our week, but we
didn't talk about our week yesterday though.
There's nothing to talk about. We're getting ready to go.
It keeps going the same. It's the
doing
same
a couple episodes a week. There's less to talk about between that.
So that's why we made stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I actually enjoyed this.
Me too.
To tell you the truth.
Yeah,
and I think we should do more of this and leave our weeks where they lie.
I think that we should not say what we should and shouldn't do. It shouldn't be strict.
That's true. And having we have kind of gotten a more of a set format of how we do things. We're going to start mixing it up.
Yeah,
more.
dude, like a bug died in our ass. Like we need to just get it out.
Well, tell them about your itchy bug juice.
Itchy bug juice.
Speaking of itchy bug juice, I am seeing an acupuncturist, and he gave me these for my itchy dry scalp, and so that's my condition that I'm going to him for, and also the tingling and numbness in my hands. And he not prescribed because it's not a prescription, but he gave me these little tiny black
spherical.
Yeah, it's like a sphere ball of like herbs, and it's for your
wind.
It's for your wind to balance, tame the wind in the body.
Simon was so funny about this. Our son is the eternal skeptic for anything that has to do with like anything woo.
And mind you, I raised him in the peak of all of my studies,
that's why
of all
he
of
is like this.
Which I love that he's like this, but he still comes to me because he knows it works.
He's so funny. He's like, oh yeah, your wind's out of balance, $50. Here, drink this bug juice. It's for your wind. Yeah, he's fucking hilarious.
So one of the he asked me how it was doing, and I was like, well, I'm still kind of noticing it. I don't think that it's, doing anything. So he was like, okay, so I'm going to give you this. The formula's a bit stronger. Are you okay with having crushed up bugs in it. And I was like, I guess he saw my question. He's like, it's cicada wings or cicada shells, ground up amongst other things. And it's supposed to be for, itchiness, I guess.
As I say, Mel being the nomadic traveler and up to you are the type that Mel, I do like, sure, I'll try it.
Why not?
Mel's in the kitchen
then I'll be
shooting
like,
bug juice, man.
And I'll be the one to next time if somebody's, I'll be like, that's bullshit. Or, you know what? You better take that bug juice because it worked. I'm a guinea pig. I'll be a guinea pig. I will.
I love it.
And why not? If you have an ailment or something and you can't find a cure, what's it going to hurt? If it does hurt, then you're like, oh, okay.
If you are a human being, something will be wrong with you at one point in your life. So why not learn ways, tips, and tricks to heal yourself? If they're bullshit, you'll find out. If they're not, then you'll have another little trick up your sleeve.
And if you live in the southwestern United States, all summer long, you can get free cicada shells on any tree.
That's the first thing I thought of when Aaron said what you were doing. I just remember as a kid growing up, battling with as a kid, like 8-year-old, 7-year-old boy, picking them all. They'd be all, because the houses are mostly stucco. So they'd be all over there, and you could just pick them and be like,
hollow shells,
just fighting, and they just crumble apart. It was fun toy.
Anyway,
I'll always try weird shit.
So if you've made it to this part in the episode,
congratulations.
We're talking about bugs and fighting and whatever.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you for having an interest in us.
Yeah.
Now, listen. Come hang out with us. If you're in California and it's Thursday through Sunday, April 7th through the 10th, and you have the opportunity, there are single-day tickets available for Skull and Roses. I would really love to have somebody walk up to me at the show and be like, yo, dude, I just listened to the Jennifer Hartswick episode, and I decided to come hang out with you guys.
Aww.
That would be really cool.
That'd be sweet.
I would appreciate that. And I know these guys would too. So,
I'll get all giddy. I'll do a jig. Be like, din, 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 my festy pants from the Guatemalan booth.
I have to say this. I received a blessing today, and I want to share it because it made me so happy. I came home from work, and Aaron was like, "Oh, hey, Cody left you these things," and he proceeds to come back with a freaking trucker. Dark jean, dark Levi's trucker jacket. Sherpa trucker. It's because
truckers. That is like Sherpa truckers wear.
It fits me like Cody had it hand created for me.
It's
like it was like tailored to me, and a sweater,
and a
cardigan that fits me perfectly, and I just want to say blessings and miracles are true, and they're out there. And thank you, Cody, for being one of ours.
Yeah. Yeah. We really do have a wonderful circle of friends.
Yes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah,
we have
I said, Cody gave me a thing of blotter art. I see it all the time. I see it at the festivals where they have like albums.
Mm-hmm.
And you just sort through it. And I'm always like, I should buy it. And I never have. That's because I was waiting for Cody to hook me up.
That's right.
Cody gave me the blessing of music today.
Oh.
He did. You guys are getting tighter and tighter. You're sounding good. You're my soundtrack. I was going to put on music to paint and was like, oh, I got music.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's nice.
Appreciate that.
Because you're tight. You guys get into it right away. And now when he gets it, like within 3 minutes, you guys are in sync and playing.
Cody said
it used to be like building up like an hour in, you guys would start to sync and sound pretty good, and now it's like right off the bat.
Cody goes, we're finally not just two guys playing guitar in the same room. We're playing music together.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
Congratulations, guys, because that's an awesome thing to do.
It's so fun. It's so much fun. And I told Mel, like, I've been playing guitar on and off forever, and like I would always get to a certain point and give up. Because it was like,
you got over that.
No, and
recently
this is the very first time that like I can hear myself getting better.
Yeah,
I'm like, oh shit, I just did that. Like I've never felt like that before. So it's exciting, and it's making me keep going, and it's actually cutting into my day job a lot. Like I think I practice more than I actually work at work. I hope my boss doesn't listen to this, but yeah. Anyway.
Everything's incriminating.
Hey, boss.
Just joking. All right, we'll be back next week with more stuff. When we come back from Skull and Roses, Mel and I are back for a few days, and then we are back on the airplane back east to New York for Phish. So if you're going to be at Phish, come say hi to Mel and I out there. You know, it's not that many people there, so you won't have a problem finding it.
Yeah, a little tiny venue.
Yeah, tiny venue, small city, no problem.
Just listen for the guy whistling. That's Aaron.
Yeah, with the guy with the long hair and the tie-dye.
Yeah.
That'll be me, and the beard. And we'll have episodes for you that week and every week to follow for the foreseeable forever. So we love you guys, and thanks for hanging out with us this week. To everybody that's listening for the first time, thanks for listening to the show. Welcome to the No Simple Road family. We love you. Thanks so much for doing it. And for all of you that listen every week, guys,
you're the best.
The best.
Yeah,
the
you
best.
are. You know who you are,
You're a
too.
big warm blanket.
Yep.
Oh.
Wash your hands. Hydrate. Safety third. Smile at a stranger.
Hug
and
a stranger.
Take care of yourselves. You know, do a little
Call
exercise.
the Tepid line and tell us what your Grateful Dead song is.
Yeah. What merch are you looking forward to getting this summer?
We know you are.
But it's a burden. Family needs has been deferred, and hell means been the earth, and alchemy can bring the birth, the melody of a newborn. So persistent, so resistant, so insistent, so commitment, so resilient, or haven't you learned it? Still, one simple road. Mechanism as well as a fear. We've traveled this road before, so we may think, but it's a tad bit of strange similarities that feed an A equal A complex. The fears of your past do not equal the perplexities of the current road.
Hey listeners, I want to tell you about the April-May 2023 issue of Relics magazine. Features a Dave Matthews Band cover story with additional articles and interviews with The National, Graham Nash, Wayne Shorter, ALO, Ivan Neville, our friend Eric Krasno and Stanton Moore, Marty Stewart, and much more. Check out the latest version of Relics and subscribe now at relics.com/DMB. Thanks, Relics.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.